as AI engineers or ML engineers or even data scientists, we all live and die in Python. And we also use a number of tools in order to make our lives easier. And having better tools only means that we are going to be more productive. So when it comes to installing different packages, we have pip. When it comes to environment management and package management, we have conda. And when it comes to more of dependency management or even packaging your project, there is poetry. But what if I told you there's a new tool in town that is super effective and highly performant? And when I came across this and used it, I was really blown away by the speed of it. And that tool is UV. So in this video, let's look into UV and learn everything about it, the different commands and different ways that we can use UV. So let's get started. UV is an extremely fast Python package installer and resolver that is introduced by Astral. In Astral, they're building high-performance developer tools for the Python ecosystem. And Astral is known for Rough, which is an extremely fast Python linter and formatter. And it indeed seems to be the case, as they have shown this comparison between poetry, pipcompile. When it comes to resolving, poetry seems to take 0.6 seconds, but UV just takes 0.01 seconds. And when it comes to installing, poetry seems to take about 1 second, but UV again seems to take 0.06 seconds. So it all boils down to the usage of Rust, which makes it super fast. So in this video, let's deep dive into UV. Let's start with installing UV and then move on to learning how we can do Python version management with UV. And then let's move on to running specific files using UV. For example, we should be able to run one file with one version of Python and another file with a different version of Python. So we'll have a look at that. And then we'll look into how we can manage whole projects. And finally, let's wrap up with some caveats or the limitations and future work. All along the way, I'm going to walk you through the different commands that we need to be familiar with in order to work with UV. So let's get started. So just a disclaimer that I'm not sponsored by UV. And so all the opinions given here are completely of my own. So to install UV, all that we need to do is run this command as a shell script, and that is going to install UV for you. Alternatively, if you want a simpler command, we can do brew install UV, and that is going to install UV for you. You can see that it's auto updating and it's downloading, and that has completed installing UV for us. Alternatively, you can also do pip install UV, or you could do pipx install UV. So I'm not going to do that because I installed with brew. And if you're on Windows at all, then you'll have to use PowerShell and then execute this command. A quick way to check if UV is installed is to run the UV command itself. If we say UV, then it gives the list of all the possible commands. UV is now installed successfully as a fast Python package manager. Moving on to working with Python, if I want to find out what versions are available, I can say UV Python list, and that's going to list all the Python versions that are available to me. For example, we can see that Python 3.12 is available and Python 3.13 is available. 3.11, for instance, it says download available, but currently is not available or installed. Let's say I want to work with Python 3.8 for some reason, for which the download is available, but it's currently not installed. I can do UV Python install 3.8, and that should install the 3.8 version of Python installed in 2 seconds. And if I do a UV Python list, now it says that this version is also available to run. If there are too many versions of Python installed, I can always do UV Python find and let's say 3.8, then it says where that's actually installed. So we have installed UV and we have worked with different versions of Python, how we can manage it. Now let's move on to running specific files and how we can achieve that in UV. I've got a simple main.py file here. I'm importing Pydantic base model and I'm creating a model to validate first name and last name. I'm validating a sample first name and last name. And once validated, I'm just printing validated successfully. To run this file, all that we need to do is UV run main.py, and it says it's validated successfully because it has used the default Python version, which is 3.12. We can specify it by mentioning 3.12 or any other version, and then run that specific file. If I run it with, say, 3.8, it couldn't find the Pydantic, which is not installed. But the beauty is that with a specific version of Python, I can also ask to use with Pydantic, which means that I'll be running the script by using Pydantic, but I'm actually not doing an installation. So you can see that it's now run fine without giving the no module found error, but we actually did not install Pydantic. We just gave this argument and said that with Pydantic, and it made use of Pydantic and ran the script. So running this command every time saying that uv run python version with and main.py is pretty long. So all that we can do is uv init -- script main.py, and we can say python 3.8, and if we run that, it will initialize a script in main.py. So let's go and have a look at the main.py file. When you go here, you can see that it has added these scripts, and here I can add whatever my dependency is. For example, I can say Pydantic, can be requests, or it can be PyTorch, and it can be even NumPy, and it goes on and on. So if I do all of that, then for this particular script, these are all the dependencies that I want. And notice that because we gave Python 3.8, it has also said that it requires Python more than 3.8. If I now just go uv run main.py, it's run that successfully. And if I just say uv run python 3.8, it installed the needed packages and it ran successfully. So that was dealing with specific files or individual scripts. But usually in a project, we have a lot of files. And so the question is, how do we manage a whole project? So let's dive into how we can create a whole project from scratch with uv and deal with the files there. So if you already have a project, all you have to do is just do uv init in order to initialize the project. And we can see that there's a pyproject.toml file created and there's a readme created for us. So if we come out one level, I can also initialize a new project. I'll have to do uv init and the project name. For example, I'm going to say uv project. That has initialized the project. And if I go to uv project, I can see that it has done the same thing. It has initialized the project with the readme main.py and pyproject.toml. So let's open this in VS Code. So I've opened that in VS Code, and we can already see that there's a lot going on there. It's already created a git ignore for us. And it also created a .python version file, and it's defaulted to 3.10. And we have the main.py with the skeleton, and we have a pyproject.toml file, and we've got the project name, the project version, description, readme, and also it requires Python 3.10 or over, and it also has dependencies. Currently, there's nothing there, but it has created this many files for us. Whatever is currently installed in the project comes under dependencies here. Currently, it's empty, indicating that we don't have any packages that are installed. So in order to install something, all we have to do is uv add, let's say, Pydantic again, and we can see that it has updated the dependencies and listed Pydantic as one of the dependencies. Now, I really don't have to go here and then keep adding one by one. All I have to do is I can just edit this file for dependencies. Let's say I want to add PyTorch. I'll just add it there, and I want NumPy as well, and I will add it here again. So once I've added the dependencies, now all I have to do is uv sync, and the entire project will be synced up with the needed packages. Having said that, it's already failed to build PyTorch. So it says that you tried to install PyTorch. The package name for PyTorch is torch. So I'm going to change that to torch. And once again, I'm going to run uv sync, and we can see that it's all getting installed. And for someone familiar with PyTorch, you can see that how fast that got installed. So that's all looking fine now. And on the top left in the list of files, I also want to show the virtual environment that it has created. So it has created a virtual environment, but this is not something that we need to activate and play around with that we normally do with the usual Python virtual environments. That's something that's managed by uv, and we don't have to really care about the virtual environment here, but just letting you know that it has actually created a virtual environment and it's managing it by itself. That was adding Python packages in the environment, and that was syncing. So to remove any of the packages, all I have to do is uv remove, and we can see that that's been quickly removed from the dependencies list. One more file that's of interest is the uv.log file. So if I open that, we can see that it lists everything that's needed to run the project. For example, it says it requires Python 3.10 or something more than that. And we can see that it needs these list of packages. So if we literally just commit this uv.log file into the GitHub repo, then that can be shared across the team, and the entire team can just sync up with the same version of all the packages needed for the project, and everyone in the team should be able to run the project seamlessly. So in order to view the dependency tree in a nice format, we have to do UV tree, and we can see that this is a UV project that we just created, and we have NumPy and Torch inside that, and inside Torch we have all these dependencies. So that's a nice way to look at the dependencies. So there seems to be a command called UV build, which is also available, and I've never run that. I'm going to run that now. So that's for building the project, right? So it has done some build, and it's created this dist directory, and inside that it has created this wheel and tar.gz file. And then there seems to be some other command called UV publish, which is to publish the package. So I'm not sure what will happen if we try to publish that. Right. So if we run UV publish, it's asking for username, and we need to give all the credentials, and it is going to upload the package ready to be available for download. So that's super cool. So if you're a bit of a control freak and you want your own virtual environment and you don't like this virtual environment created by UV, you can still do it. You can do UV vn, and we can see that it's creating a virtual environment, and we can activate it with this command. And we have now activated the virtual environment that we have manually created. And here we can do UV pip install and do whatever the package that you want to install, really. So, but I'm not going to do that here. So the virtual environment is nicely managed by UV, but that option is always available. So with that note, I'm going to move on to some of the caveats and the future work that's planned for UV. If we look at their own blog, they're saying that they are looking towards expanding UV into a complete Python project and package manager. So they are looking forward to doing that, but they have not achieved that yet. So we need to wait for future releases in order to see UV fully in action. So that's one of the caveats. Because it's newbie, we need to wait for whatever is there in their roadmap. But currently already it's super fast, and they're clearly saying that they have an ambitious roadmap for UV. And again, they're saying that their goal is to evolve UV into a production ready cargo for Python, and to provide a smooth migration path from Rye to UV when the time is right. It's still early days, and we have a long way to go with UV, but already it seems to be pretty cool, and I quite like it. On that note, I'm signing off, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.